What's up, YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be taking a quick break from our series that we've been doing on the channel. We have been reacting to some of the all-time great players. I'm new to the game of football, just started watching a couple years ago. And so, to increase my knowledge of the game, I've been reacting to some of the legends. In today's video, we're going to dive into some tactics, though, looking at the history of the World Cup, specifically 1986 World Cup is what we're going to be looking at the tactics at play today. And I'm going to give you a quick reason why I want to look at the 1986 World Cup tactics, and then we'll get straight into the video. Hey there, we'll get back to your video in just 1 second. First, let me show you something cool that I'm doing over on Patreon. I am reacting to key games in the 1986 World Cup over on Patreon. Now, something that's really cool that I'm able to do, I was reacting to the USSR and Belgium in this game where the USSR lost a heartbreaker in extra time versus Belgium in the 1986 World Cup. But look, I'm able to actually show game footage. Like, I'm actually able to react to the game highlights and do some research on the 1986 World Cup over here. This is stuff that I cannot upload on YouTube because it will get blocked. FIFA doesn't like it when I react to their stuff. But you can find these matches. I'm doing all the key games from the 1986 World Cup. When we get to the final, which I know Argentina are victorious in the 1986 World Cup. When we get to the final, I'm going to live stream with all of those people who have subscribed at the $5 tier, just $5 a month, and you'll get the entire tournament, all the reactions to all the games, but not just the 1986 World Cup. We will also be doing 2002, 1994. We'll also be doing Champions League finals. We'll also be doing FA Cup finals. We've got a lot of stuff that I'm going to be doing over there on the $5 a month tier on Patreon. So please go check it out. I'm sure you're going to be excited about this kind of content. It's a lot of fun. I can't do it on YouTube, but I will do it on Patreon. And I'll see you guys over there. The link is in the description. All right, so some of you who've been watching that will know that I just reacted to Spain over Denmark 5-1, and I noticed in the middle of that game, and this is the reason why I wanted to do this tactics video. I noticed a tactic at play that I've seen still going in the 2024 Euro, and that's the tactic of putting the ball out on the wing and trying to cross the ball into the box. And I've noticed that tactic at play ever since I've started watching football. And I wondered some sort of the development of that kind of tactic. So here we are. We're going to dive into the 1986 World Cup tactics and see what there is to learn here.
Stifle and wait. This became something of a theme in 1986 and 1990. When the Magic Square cannot even get out of the group stages, then it does suggest that defense should have primacy over attack. Tactically,
and when he says Magic Square, he's referring specifically, I believe, to the tactics of Brazil that were at play in 1982.
Not aesthetically. However, as Carlos Bilardo, the boss of Argentina, found out in '86, sometimes you have to adjust because of one player. In this case, Bilardo had Diego Maradona.
Right.
How does one create a system that works defensively but incorporates the mercurial genius of Maradona? Bilardo's answer was to create a genuine 3-5-2.
Okay, let's just look at this for a second. 3-5-2. So he's saying that you're pushing the fullbacks up to become wide. So you're pushing your fullbacks up to here. Is this where this crossing mentality comes from? Running up the wings, crossing the ball into a finishing player? Is that what I'm going to see? I don't know. I should probably let the video play out instead of trying to guess and predict what's coming up next. Drives my wife crazy when we watch movies because I'm always trying to predict the outcome. Let's get into this.
By pushing the fullbacks up to become wide midfielders, playing a sweeper who was less creative, and allowing Maradona to roam and Jorge Burruchaga to get forwards from midfield, covered by Sergio Batista, Bilardo created a system that pressured the sides playing a more defensive 5-3-2 or overmanned those using a traditional back four. As wingers became less fashionable and teams created width primarily through fullbacks, Bilardo recognised that making fullbacks into midfielders ate up all of the space into which the opposition wide men could run, putting them immediately on the back foot. And in the middle of this system, Maradona.
So right, I feel like that tactic is still at play. with playing fullbacks up the wing.
The diminutive genius could essentially do what he wanted, where he wanted. Free to play as a second striker or an attacking midfielder, central or wide, behind a hard-working striker in Jorge Valdano and 7 runners who would cover his absence from the defensive shape. West Germany, who were to be beaten finalists again in '86, played a form of lopsided 5-3-2 that was, in effect, a form of 4-3-3 with a fourth defender, a libero. This style borrowed from the
libero is the role where a player steps up from the defensive line and can play forward.
Ajax of a
He just explained that earlier on in the 1982 portion of the World Cup history.
decade earlier was favoured by manager Franz Beckenbauer because he himself was a fine sweeper. The back 3 man-marked with the libero the free man to push up and make a 3-4-3. While one of the front 3 or 2 dropped off into the hole to make what was in effect a 3-4-1-2 in possession and a 4-3-2-1 out of possession. The final saw a 3-2 win for Argentina as they pinned back the West Germans, taking advantage of their lack of natural width and used Maradona to tie up several markers at one time.
It's not really a spoiler to me because I did know that Argentina beats West Germany in the final of this World Cup. 1986. See the score is 3-2. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be live stream a watch party that entire match. We're going to watch that together over on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, you join at the $5 tier. You're going to get all of the round of 16 quarterfinal matches and semifinal matches and the final over there on Patreon, as well as other years, other tournaments, other big moments. So really, if you're interested in it, go over there and check that out. It'll be in the description underneath this video.
The defeat meant that Beckenbauer had lost the World Cup final both as a player and a manager. The World Cup was Maradona's. The roles were...
Right, the World Cup was Maradona's. What a world-class player, too. Just, we got to stop and talk about Argentina and their contribution to football. They've given us Lionel Messi. They've given us Diego Maradona. They've given us Riquelme, who I've also reacted to. By the way, that video got blocked. Riquelme. They've also produced an insane number of football managers. Like, we were just sitting there talking in my Twitch stream during the Copa America that, was it 5 coaches in the tournament were from Argentina? Both managers in that final were Argentina. So it's just amazing the contribution. They've produced many great players and many great managers. So appreciate all of that, all of that contribution to football. But anyway, I wanted to check out the tactics at play in the 1986 World Cup. This was a TIFO football video kind of explaining some of the development of tactics in the theme of that World Cup. And this is an interesting series, the history of the World Cup tactics explained. But yeah, I'm going to be reacting to that over on Patreon. So if you're interested, hit the link in the description, and I'll have more World Cup content coming for you here on the channel. See you guys in the next video.